This year it marks the 250th anniversary since a coal barge named Endeavour sailed into Botany Bay, and in fact on that day items were removed by the men on Cook's ship from Aboriginal people on the shores of Botany Bay. And so we've had this 250-year process of our cultural heritage being removed and taken away.
Museums have traditionally held on to their collections with a vice-like grip. But over the past 2 decades, repatriation expert Dr. Michael Pickering says he's noticed a change within his own institution.
There is now greater trust between many Indigenous communities and museums. It's not perfect, but it's grown through the act of repatriation.
The Manchester Museum has recently returned more than 40 artefacts to Aboriginal communities, items they'd held for more than 90 years, including many secret sacred items belonging to the Gangalidda Garawa peoples of northwest Queensland.
This is, to me and my community, what true practical reconciliation looks like. It's not just flowery rhetoric or incremental and tokenistic change. This will have a real and profound positive impact on the practice, preservation and development of my people's culture, our language and our traditions for generations to come.
NITV was there to witness the handover and the return home.
It allows us to have access to the tools and the materials that allow us to continue to teach and preserve our culture.
In total, 85 items have been repatriated from the UK and the US during the 2-year government-funded pilot program. Coronavirus has temporarily prevented artefacts from making the final journey home. But 24 overseas institutions holding about 13,000 cultural items are ready to return some.
We have a large consignment of stone items that's just waiting in a museum in Israel.
100 years later, the remains are just sat in boxes and crates such as this.
In this secure warehouse, Dr. Pickering oversees the remains of at least 460 individuals and 500 secret sacred objects, either holding them at the request of the community or to determine their provenance.
Repatriation is more than just the end result of reburial. It's giving them back authority over those remains.
While Australian museums have a policy of unconditional repatriation in the case of remains and secret sacred items, returning secular ones are not so straightforward.
Other objects can be more problematic, and it's important to look at the way they were collected, where they were collected, but also what they mean to people today. An object that was traded 100, 200 years ago as a mundane secular tool can become significant today in the eyes of the communities from where they originated.
Through community conversations, institutions are learning that there is more to gain by listening and sharing.
We want to be able to share our culture, but it needs to be done in a manner that is culturally appropriate and sensitive, and it needs to be done with permission as well. We have no problem providing materials to other institutions, but we want to be able to provide that proper cultural context.
But for some institutions, there is still work to be done.